Coming up on Global Business, Unity Call, Boao Forum for Asia concludes with a call for cooperation to address global economic challenges and regional conflicts. Talent demand. China's tourism industry ramps up hiring as demand quickly recovers, highlighting the need for specific skills in the job market. And cleanup underway. Salvage experts clear wreckage of Baltimore's bridge collapse, which resulted in the loss of 6 maintenance workers' lives. From Citizen headquarters in Beijing, this is Global Business. I'm Zheng Junfeng. The 2024 Boao Forum for Asia concluded today with a closing press conference. Foreign officials said the theme of this year's annual meeting, Asia and the World, Common Challenges, Shared Responsibilities, reflects the most crucial issues facing the world today and underscores the forum's efforts to promote international cooperation. Citizen's reporter Dai Kai-yi brings us the details.
At the closing press conference, the forum's Secretary General Li Baodong said participants now have a clearer understanding of the challenges facing the world today, whether it's the sluggish global economic recovery or ongoing regional conflicts. Those present shared notes on challenges for countries across the globe.
Only through unity and cooperation can we better address challenges. This is an important consensus reached at this year's annual meeting. Global crises compel us to be on the same boat. We have no other choice but to navigate together in the right direction. All parties must bear their share of responsibility in the face of common challenges.
The Secretary General stressed that unity, cooperation, multilateralism, and an open global economy are essential for progress. Additionally, he noted that Asia is leading a new era of sustainable development, expected to contribute over 60% of global GDP growth this year.
For Asia, our common responsibility is to maintain regional peace and security, uphold our role as a dynamic engine of global economic growth, and continue to promote deeper integration and better connectivity.
He highlighted Asia's tremendous resilience in the face of challenges, reaffirming it as the most dynamic region globally and the most promising investment destination.
The Forum's Secretary General Li Baodong said the annual conference has achieved tangible and positive results as it analyzes major challenges the world is facing today and forges the consensus of a shared responsibility in the international community. Dai Kai-yi, CGTN, in Boao, Hainan Province.
Earlier, my colleague Guan Xing spoke to Scott Morris, the Vice President of Asian Development Bank, on the lender's pivotal role in advancing sustainability and climate resilience in Asia. Morris highlighted ADB's $100 billion plan to boost green investment and acknowledged China's significant influence in driving the region's economic and environmental progress. He also underscored the importance of continued dialogue, innovation, and collaboration to ensure a sustainable future for all.
Could you elaborate on Asian Development Bank's role in advancing environmental sustainability and fighting climate change across the region?
Well, we've set an ambition for ourselves to be the region's climate bank. And I think, importantly, that reflects what we see in terms of the needs of the region. It's also very much the demand of all of our clients that they want us to make climate more central in what we do. So what we've done is made a very ambitious financing commitment, $100 billion of our own resources in this decade. And we intend to use that to leverage financing critically from the private sector, from other sources, so that we can get at much greater scale across the region.
What innovative approaches have you championed in mobilizing resources to boost the growth in Asia, in particular in less developed regions?
We have a AAA credit rating that allows us to borrow very cheaply in the marketplace, and we pass those savings on to our members. Number two, we've also recognized, particularly among our poorer members, the financial terms matter a lot, and we're in an environment with higher interest rates. So we've taken steps to ensure that even more subsidized financing, including grants to our poorest countries, are available. Everything from standard loans to governments for projects, but increasingly working through public-private partnership mechanisms. And that's been very encouraging, particularly in clean technology, rolling out solar projects even in lower income countries, we see very strong demand from the private sector, where we are engaged either on an advisory basis or with some of our own capital. So there's a broad range of things we're doing to attack the climate agenda with scale, but also with innovation.
What role do you think China can enhance in the region's future development?
Well, China is a critical player for us, and they're a critical partner. And I would say in two ways. Our own engagement within China, China's been a long-standing client for ADB over many years, and that continues. And increasingly, that work is very much focused on the climate transition, moving as quickly as possible to a green economy, addressing other ways that we address not just climate impact, but the environment generally, recognizing the value of natural assets, habitats, biodiversity. So we're doing all these things within China, and doing it given the high capacity of our Chinese counterparts, finding very innovative ways to do it so that we can then take those lessons and apply it in other countries. And that's very much the model that we've been putting more emphasis on going forward.
Global lenders and financial experts are advocating for integration of private capital into green finance as a means to fund sustainable projects and address climate risks. This initiative aims to drive a greener and more equitable economic landscape. Earlier, Guan Xin sat down with Mo Huiyao, founder and president of the Center for China and Globalization, to discuss these topics.
China was the first country a decade ago launched the Belt and Road Initiative. Even though they have encountered many skepticism, criticism, but actually, for the last 10 years, China has managed to, assemble investment about $1 trillion and invest into 3,000 projects in many developing countries. So that has been greatly appreciated. And also, you can see actually China addressing this global infrastructure deficit. You have seen the U.S. followed the suit a few years later and called Build Back Better World, B3W. And the EU has proposed the Global Gateway. Of course, G7 proposed Global Infrastructure Initiative. So actually, it's a good thing. All the major blocs are thinking about launch their own programs to address Belt and Road, address global infrastructure deficit. Stimulated by Belt and Road, which is a healthy competition.
Talking about the infrastructure deficit, one of the key issues is the financing deficit. What do you see as the key challenges to mobilize financial resources? Because the development stage across the region are varied.
Yeah, one of the suggestions I would make is that we should have the World Bank and AIB, ADB, FDB, European banks to really work together. They should all have a slice of the budget to concentrate on addressing this deficit, probably also the green infrastructure deficit, where that should be worked together. I think that multinationals should be involved. They are, the key forces of Belt and Road or other infrastructure projects. They should collaborate. And then furthermore, I think international organizations like IMF and like G20, they should also collectively addressing the deficit issue.
You're watching Global Business. Coming up next. Talent demand. China's tourism industry ramps up hiring as demand quickly recovers, highlighting the need for specific skills in the job market.
Response to global challenges and recognizing our shared destiny, we must promote peace, development, and cooperation. Addressing common challenges and fulfilling our shared responsibilities. Join us at the Pu'ao Forum for Asia Annual Conference 2024.
China's Qingming Festival, also known as Tomb Sweeping Day, will occur next Thursday, following by a 3-day public holiday this year. Travel booking platform Trip.com predicts significant growth in the tourism market. Pre-holiday searches for hotels on Trip.com have surged by 67% compared to last year, with flight ticket searches up by 80%. Ticket bookings for scenic spots have seen an impressive six-fold increase. Central and Western China have emerged as popular destinations, with Tianshui in Gansu province gaining attention on China's social media platforms due to its local delicacies. Spring, known for its flower blossoms, has put cities famous for specific flowers and natural scenery on the hot list, including Luoyang, Wuhan, Wuyuan, and Nanjing. The recovery of the tourism sector in China is leading to job creation in related industries. According to Zhaopin, a leading hiring platform, job listings in the tourism and vacation sectors have increased by over 50% in the post-spring festival season. Additionally, listings posted by hotels and restaurants have risen by more than 10%. The domestic tourism industry in China has quickly recovered from COVID-19 pandemic. As a result, there's been an increase in job demand in the sector. Our reporter Wang Tianyu visited a job market in the city of Shenzhen in South China to gather more information.
It's the job hunting season, and residents in South China's Shenzhen are looking for their best jobs. This is one of the hundreds of local job fairs that is being held this spring. More than 2,000 job seekers are trying to land their ideal job among the choices being offered by the 120 different kinds of enterprises here. As China's domestic tourism industry has quickly recovered after the COVID-19 pandemic, job demand related to the sector has therefore increased as well. Here in Shenzhen, a city with plenty of scenic spots neighboring Hong Kong, the change is obvious.
We have seen a significant increase in work demand compared to the past 2 years, so we've arranged more job interviews.
During the 2024 Spring Festival holiday, tourists made over 8.25 million trips to Shenzhen. The figure is 76% higher than that of 2023 and 12% more than the pre-pandemic 2019. The booming tourism has also pushed hotel companies to hire more.
Right now, we have a large demand for frontline operation positions, such as lobby and restaurant servers. It is probably a 10 to 20% increase.
China anticipates a record number of university graduates in 2024, with over 11 million students expected to enter the workforce. The job fairs scheduled by local governments are a major step to stabilize the employment situation. Wang Tianyu, CGTN, Shenzhen, Guangdong Province.
For more insights on the job hunting outlook within the flourishing tourism sector, we're joined by Wang Yan, the Deputy Secretary General of the University Network for Research Collaboration. Thank you for joining us, Ms. Wang. What factors have contributed to the recent popularity of tourism in China, including destinations like Harbin and most recently Tianshui in Gansu?
Well, on the supply side, I think first is the historical cultural asset that has been inherited from past and revitalized in the modernization process. The second is the reform policy of the central government, led by the by President Xi Jinping, that has incentivized the local government to devote more efforts and invest more resources to culture and tourism. And the third is the commitment and the innovation of the local government to revival the culture and tourism industry and provide the quality products. Then on the demand side, the first is after the COVID-19 and its repercussion, people are settling down to enjoy a peaceful life free of anxiety for virus and the pandemic. And also with the improved living standard, people have more disposable income for tourism. The third is after the pandemic, more and more organizations and institutions are using a flexible working schedule to allow people more disposable time to travel. And overall, I think it is the symbol of the societal development that people's living have entered into a new stage featured by peace, prosperity, and promise.
Right. What are the current trends for job requirements within the tourism industry? Probably demand for skills in producing short videos for social media?
In terms of the skills and competences for the job requirements, I think the first is the media literacy. That means the workers and managers in the culture and tourism industry need to learn how to use the multimedia instruments and social media platforms to search for, produce, and promote the products. Second, digital literacy. That is how to utilize the digital tools, including artificial intelligence, to engage people with the products in both virtual and physical environments. The third is global competences. As we are living in a globalized world, so it is norm for people to interact with people from other culture. And it is not merely a matter of language, but also approaches and strategies to communicate and collaborate with people from other culture towards mutual beneficial outcomes. Last but not least, agility or flexibility with the technological developments and globalization processes. There will be increasing changes. So this requires the workers in culture and tourism industry to learn quickly, adapt quickly, and innovate quickly to succeed in the rapidly changing world.
Right. Let me ask a final question about the challenges facing many tourist attractions, because many scenic spots like ocean beaches and ski resorts only operate seasonally. Some operate in the winter and some operate in the summer. How can these places keep their talents?
Well, I think the first is, when there are not many tourists, they could do several things. The first is to develop infrastructure and upgrade facilities, and also building the capacity of staff by training. On top of this, there could be several key things for success. First is to learn. For example, travel around nationwide and also around the world, and to learn from other institutions, from the other organizations, and other places and other countries. The second is the research and development. So it's good time to do the market research and also develop new products with cutting edge technologies. The third is marketing. And to do marketing, and so that people can get better prepared for the holiday around the ocean beach or ski resort in the low season. So I think they keep on learning the research and development and marketing with the good techniques. This would be the key to the success for them for the industries and the businesses in the culture and tourism to succeed all year round.
Thank you so much for sharing. That's Ms. Wang Yan, Deputy General Secretary General of University Network for Research Collaboration. Next, for a look at some other business headlines from China. 6 Chinese state-owned banks, including Industrial and Commercial Bank and China Construction Bank, reported positive growth in net profit in 2023. Their annual reports also indicated a decrease in the rate of default loans, demonstrating an improvement in the quality of their assets. China's logistics sector experienced a 5.9% year-on-year growth, with a total value of 55.4 trillion yuan, or about 7.6 trillion US dollars, recorded during the first 2 months of the year. The demand for logistics services related to semiconductors, integrated circuits, and new energy vehicles has increased due to the recovery of exports. And the National Development and Reform Commission has announced plans to promote equipment upgrades in various sectors, such as manufacturing, agriculture, and infrastructure. Additionally, efforts will be made to encourage consumption upgrades in the automotive, home appliances, and home decoration industries. These initiatives have the potential to unleash an estimated annual market value of 6 trillion yuan. Salvage experts have started the task of cleaning up the wreckage of Baltimore's bridge collapse from Thursday. Authorities in the U.S. say the bodies of 4 remaining missing maintenance workers are believed caught inside the mangled metal. The remains of 2 others who were swept into the Penobscot River while a container ship rammed into the Key Bridge earlier this week were recovered on Wednesday. As the local community comes to terms with the implications of the port's closure to maritime traffic, new data suggests that the U.S. economy is at least poised to support the economic impact. Owen Fairclough has more.
A tragedy that claimed the lives of 6 men working through the night to maintain a critical bridge supporting one of America's critical ports. And the ramifications of the Baltimore bridge collapse are easy to grasp for the surrounding communities.
Let's always start with the family first. The families that lost people, the hardships that are going to go along with not having the bridge.
The container ship that crashed into the Francis Scott Key Bridge brought the country's #1 port for importing and exporting vehicles to a virtual standstill. The workers who keep it running among the first economic victims of this disaster.
We are concerned about the local economic impact, with some 8,000 jobs directly associated with port activities. And we are concerned about implications that will ripple out beyond the immediate region.
At least new data shows the broader economy is moving in the right direction to support that impact. Growth for the last quarter of 2023 was revised upwards on Thursday, reflecting revised forecasts for 2024 that chime with unemployment near historic lows. Even so, companies including Amazon and Under Armour, who set up shop to leverage global supply chains on their doorstep in Baltimore, are also likely to be affected. So those whose livelihoods depend on those supply chains are anxious.
We can't ship anything out right now, so the exports have been shut off. So obviously there's nothing we can load in containers to go out of the country because there's no vessels to load it on. You know, the vessel traffic has stopped. So, and with no incoming containers, you know, that will be shut off as well. So sooner or later, you know, the port's going to just quiet down. It's going to be, hate to use the word, but almost like a ghost town here.
But just how long it will take and how much it will cost to bring Baltimore's most important asset back to life again is yet to be determined. Owen Fairclough, CGTN, Washington.
Earlier we spoke to Arthur Doi, professor of business at Georgetown University. He shared his insights on which industries will stand to lose in the aftermath of the Baltimore bridge collapse.
For certain industries that have, let's say, components that are made overseas for certain types of industrial and commercial applications, such as automotive parts, this is going to present some challenges and bottlenecks, at least for the foreseeable future, until those cargoes and the logistics providers, find alternate means to divert those cargoes away from Baltimore. But importantly, it will add to the transportation cost overall for many companies that both export and import components from destinations overseas. The burden of this disaster is going to fall very sort of inordinately on 2 industries. The 2 industries that are going to be the most impacted are the automotive and vehicles industry, as well as the coal industry. Baltimore was the #1 export terminal for U.S.-based coal, as well as this specialized type of coal called coke, which is in high demand worldwide as it serves as the primary fuel source for the steel industry. On the automotive industry, Baltimore was the destination of choice for the global automotive industry, including the European makers, as well as the Japanese and South Korean makers of their vehicles entering the United States. Now, that is not going to be as easy to recover from because of the highly specialized nature of both these cargoes.
Over to Russia now, where various industries are already benefiting from the country's booming trade with China. Some experts are seeing significant potential for the growing ties, especially in high-tech industries. CGTN's Mehal Badavid reports.
Trade between China and Russia has surged to $240 billion in the last 2 years. Chinese products are in high demand in Russia. Additionally, experts highlight increasing cooperation in various sectors.
We We are also gradually increasing, for example, joint productions and collaborating together in the field of high technologies. This, for example, is the development of software for smart cars and even smart household appliances. That is, Russian and Chinese programmers are developing joint products. We see the development of joint electronics.
One industry that has particularly benefited from the increase in trade between China and Russia is car manufacturing. There's been a notable shift in demand towards Chinese cars, which are replacing Western brands in the market. According to Autostat Analytical Agency, in February of this year, 8 of the 10 top-selling car brands in Russia were Chinese. According to Chinese trade data, Chinese car exports to Russia were almost 7 times higher in 2023 compared to the previous year, worth almost $10 billion. Some locals shared their reasons for choosing Chinese cars.
If we compare Haval with other brands, I can tell you for sure that what attracted me most was that in the current conditions there will be no problems with spare parts. Because the Haval brand itself is 100 localized in our country, this of course is very attractive for me.
I have a small child. I have a stroller. I have a car seat. I constantly drive to rural areas, and an all-wheel drive is just what we need for our reality, for Russian roads. I advise you all to buy the Chinese car, because it will indeed take first place in Russia.
The price-quality ratio of cars has changed a lot. European cars are too expensive now, and they are unreasonably expensive both to maintain and to purchase. So my choice is China.
Several Chinese car factories have already commenced operations in Russia. Experts anticipate that in the coming years, numerous Chinese companies will likely also initiate car assembly operations here, further expanding their presence in the market. Michal Bardavid, CGTN, Moscow.
With a report, we'll wrap up this edition of Global Business. I'm Jin in Beijing. Thanks for watching. CGTN continues with more news and views. Stay with us.